Greg Cameron has made a number of significant contributions as a player, coach, and organizer with baseball in Manitoba. Greg, your baseball career started with Souris Minor Baseball Club with a Manitoba Little League Championship in 1961.
Yeah, I remember that one, Ron. In fact, when we were driving in today, the ball diamond is just sitting right over outside here, and yeah, we. I don't remember a lot about it, but yeah, it was kind of neat to win something that early. Anyway.
What about coaches or leaders at that time who really kind of gave you a foundation in the game? Who comes to mind?
Ferg Devens and Murray Zook probably were the ones that were instrumental in helping us out with that one, and we did have some kids from Wauwanisa on that team by Mark Fisher and Grant Everard, who are in the Hall of Fame, and so we had a pretty good ball team then too.
Well, you also had another pretty good ball team in 1967. You had a Souris team, a juvenile level team, that won the Western Canadians. You were captain of that outfit.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I ever got to be a captain or whatever it was, but yeah, it was kind of a unique situation because we had some kids from Souris and Hartney and Elgin who had no place to play, and some of us weren't good enough at that time to play with the Cardinals. So we decided that if we could find somebody to do something, that we would maybe try and go into this juvenile Manitoba playoffs. So we approached Bill Kirkup and Murray Zook, who were busy with the Cardinals at that time, on field and off field or whatever, and they agreed to coach it if we, as players from Souris, did a lot of the behind the scenes things like the diamond maintenance and finding scorekeepers and whatever. So we played against South Central teams and ended up beating Carman in the Manitoba playoffs, and then went on to win the Western Canadians on that Labor Day weekend. It was neat.
Any notable teammates come to mind off that team?
Well, probably Lou Morrison, I guess, was one of our better pitchers. Lou ended up playing with the Cardinals and playing in the NHL for quite a few years, but Dick Limke always told us at Souris that if he would have had Lou Morrison's curveball, he would have been in the majors. So yeah, it was good. We just had a good group of guys that got along and enjoyed playing together.
The following year was 1968, and that marked your debut with the Souris Cardinals in the Manitoba Senior League. And it was a pretty special one because you won a championship.
Yeah, we ended up winning the league and whatever it is, and then Dauphin got us in the playoffs. But yeah, it was good. They gave me a chance at the start. I'd played a couple games in 1967, just part-time basis when they were short. But yeah, it was kind of a neat way to get into the senior league, and it was good.
Did you find it was a big jump from juvenile to senior baseball?
Yes, a really big jump. I can still almost remember. I think one of the first times I got to bat, we went to Dauphin, and they had an import by the name of Ray Strabel, and I went to the plate, and 3 balls went by me pretty fast. And anyway, we got over it, and I guess I got better anyway.
Well, you must have. You had a 12-year career with Souris and with Riverside in the Manitoba Senior League at a time when the MSBL was kind of into its heyday. What do you remember those days? It was pretty good baseball, as I recall.
Yeah, most of the teams, I think, around our area brought in 2 or 3 good American pitchers, and we did the same thing. We had, we had Dick Limke, and then we had Bernie Grainer and Dick Marsden, and we also had Bill Carpenter, that was a city cop in Winnipeg, that drove out, and the rest of us were all local and whatever. And so I played there till 1975, and I drove the one year. I moved to Boissevain in '74 and taught for a year, and I drove that year to play ball in Souris, and then I thought, well, Riverside's playing in Boissevain, why am I driving back home? I might as well do it in Riverside. And then I moved over to Riverside, and they had a very, very solid team. So I fit in there, I guess, and I played there for 5 years, and then decided that was enough.
You also had some pretty special experiences at Canadian Senior AAA tournaments. You were there 4 times.
Yeah, I got selected on Team Manitoba twice, and also I got on the two host teams here that was there. So yeah, it was pretty special, and I guess with those things, you make a lot of lifetime friends, and you see them every now and then, and they're always talking back and forth about some of the things we did then, and sometimes you remember them, and sometimes you don't.
I know there's probably a lot of people who are going to be seeing us talk about this who have never had the experience of competing at the national level. Can you tell me a little bit about what that's like for you?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting because I wasn't very old. I was just coming out of university when I first started in the first year, and so I guess I was pretty nervous, and but you got to play against some pretty decent teams and whatever. We never ever did. We made the playoffs a couple years, but most of the time the BC teams and the Maritime teams were very, very good.
Tell me about some of your memories of teammates and that sort of thing at the national level. Some guys who might have stood out in your mind.
Yeah, well, Terry Lind and Ross Lind and those guys from Macaulay were very good. Sammy Jameson was good. They had some good players up there, and of course then we played with Ronnie Seafoot and some of those guys. So it was good. You see them every now and then, and it's nice to talk to them.
From playing, you moved on to coaching. Was that a natural thing for you?
Yeah, when I got to when our daughter was born in 1981, and decided that my wife was a nurse. She was working shift work and things like that, so it was starting to interfere with that, and so then I'd always had some interest in playing golf and stuff like that, so I decided that I would quit. And then when our son Landon got old enough to play, I started coaching and figured it was time to give back to baseball and help some of the kids that played, because some of the adults that I had in Souris helped me, so I might as well try and help them back.
And you had a big moment in 1994 with the Oil Dome Pee Wee Stars Manitoba title.
Yeah, Bob Caldwell and I decided that we would try and put an Oil Dome team together, and ended up winning the Manitoba playoffs and got to go to the Nationals in North Bay, Ontario, and came close to making the playoffs. We lost our last game, and if we'd have won that, we would have been in the playoffs. So yeah, that was kind of special, and to have your son on the team, it's even a little bit better.
And now they tell me you're an announcer and a scorekeeper. The Boys of Ean Centennials have got you working for them.
I wouldn't say I'm Harry Carey. I don't sing on the seventh inning or whatever, but yeah, I enjoy helping the Centennials out wherever I can. In a small town, they're always looking for volunteers, and so I kind of do that and try and help them out.
Tell me about the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame and the honor that you're receiving today. What does that mean to you?
Well, I was quite surprised when I got the phone call and whatever. I know Gladwin had asked me for some information or whatever, but I'd been in here on two different teams. I was here with the Riverside team in 1979. I think it was 75 to 79 team. And I was also here a few years ago with the 1967 Western Canadian team. So I'm on there as an individual. I am really, really honored and looking forward to being in there. It's just baseball has been, or I guess sports in general has been really, really good to me. Going to UND on a hockey scholarship and things, making friends there, and then to get into this thing, there's tons and tons of people that I played against and played with are going in, or else they're already in there. So yeah, it's really, really neat.
Member of the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame, Greg Cameron.
Thanks.